right, Shoe Star Goddess. Okay, so Conspiracy Monday. Someone gave me the topic of reptilians. What are reptilians? What are the reptilians? Is there an agenda with the reptilians? And, you know, there's all these YouTube videos floating around of like famous people and their eyes turning like reptiles and all this kind of stuff. Okay. First of all, 99.9% of those videos are fake and photoshopped. Okay, so you can throw that out of your mind. Second of all, there are some instances where your eyes can change, and I'm going to give you some examples. Let me turn my phone. I saw this one video where this man was doing a ritual or a spell to become possessed with a jinn, like a jinn. A lot of people do this with demons or other types of spirits. And there's a ritual that you can do where you're inviting the spirit to possess you, okay? And he showed his eyes before the possession ritual and then after the possession ritual, and they were slightly different, okay? And by the type of camera he was using, you couldn't like rig this or you couldn't Photoshop this. This was like, low quality camera. And it wasn't a major difference. It didn't look like a serpent eye. It was just off just a little bit. It was just very different as far as it looked before. And the shape was different. The pupil was different. And something was just barely different. It was just a little bit different, okay? It wasn't like snake eyes or anything. It was just a little bit different. So what you're seeing is fake and it's propaganda and it's like, for views and stuff like that. Reptilians, or the reptile or the serpent agenda, way of thinking, way of living, is a state of mind, a mindset, okay? This is, reptiles are very close to the earth. They're very earthly, associated with wealth, the earth, and getting things for themselves, okay? They're also known for knowledge and power, okay? That's why in Harry Potter, they have those 4 different houses, and the house of Slytherin is about attaining your goals and getting what you want by any means necessary. Now, the Slytherin hat that I purchased, there's the little snake reptile, okay? Slytherin, snakes slither on the ground. They're close to the earth. They're very earth-like. They're very earth-minded, and anyone who knows anything about elements, when you want to work with prosperity and power, you work with earth energy, okay? So if you're reptilian minded, your agenda is getting your goals done, getting your agenda done by any means necessary. That means you don't care about anybody else but your plan and your agenda, okay? This is the reptile mind, the base mind, the mind that lacks, empathy, the mind that lacks compassion for other people if it's in the way of their goal, okay? Now, a lot of people have made this into this, like, I've seen reptilians, I've seen aliens that look like reptilians. And yes, when you see things in other dimensions, they're going to appear to you like what they are, because they're telepathic, okay? So if they want you to know they're, agenda oriented, or they're for this and this and that, they're going to appear as a reptile, because that is the mind state that they represent to you. They speak with symbols, and their appearance is a symbol in itself. So like, some people will see beings that will come and look like lions, with or a bird head. That's why, like, in ancient Egypt, when you saw depictions of certain gods and goddesses, or they would have animal heads, because they would reveal themselves to you as a certain type of animal to give you symbolic meaning of what they stood for, their aspects, okay? So if I'm going to appear as a reptile, to someone, they're going to understand that I'm very goal oriented. I'm very much about prosperity and attaining my goals, no matter if it means stepping on you or not. Okay. Or if I appear lion like, that means I'm very strong and I'm a predator and you can't push me around, but I'm very, royal and divine, and I have this lion energy, fire energy, because lions are associated with fire because of Leo. So I'm a leader. So when we see certain people as reptilians, we're seeing their mindset. We're seeing how they think. We're seeing that they're very goal oriented and going to get things done no matter who they have to hurt, step on, or move out of the way, no matter if it's fair or not. Okay, they don't care what you think about them. Their mission is to attain their goal by any means necessary. Okay, if y'all hear some drilling in the background, they're building houses in my neighborhood and I can't help that. I can't go out and tell them to shut up. But yes, so if you guys are wondering if reptiles and stuff are real, any being that will present itself to you from another dimension will present itself to you and look exactly like what they want you to think they are, what their agenda is, and some people will see like small gray aliens, some people will see the tall gray aliens, and people will see reptiles, some people will see people that look like aliens or beings that look like insects. And insects, what they stand for is like infestation. They get in the cracks and stuff. They're everywhere, you know what I'm saying? The little gray aliens are more like spirit aliens, like they're not of this world. They don't have a human body. They're not close to the earth. They're not in this world. They're between worlds, you know what I'm saying? So you're not going to get someone who's disguised as a gray. You're not going to get someone who's disguised as a little gray alien, because they don't like, they rather stay where they are and just influence you and observe and watch you, you know what I'm saying? So if you're seeing reptilians and you're saying, this famous person is a reptilian, I saw their eye change, blah 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 blah. Well, a lot of celebrities are into witchcraft and into the occult, and they might have done a ritual to have spirits enter them, or jinn or demons enter them to help them. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a ritual that a lot of people do. Also, like when someone passes, I don't know, a lot of y'all don't know this, but like when a big celebrity really dies, like when they really die, a lot of the artists will gather, or a lot of these artists who are in the occult will try to get that energy passed on to them so that they can make great art, music, film, or whatever they're in, whatever the person who did that, they're trying to get that energy and those ideas, and they'll kind of make that person a saint almost and work with that energy, and that's perfectly okay, because we do that all the time with our ancestors and with saints and deities and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't, like, that's exactly how those saints became saints. People wanted to be like them, and so they honored them in death and worked with their spirit after that. So when we see reptilians, we can't get scared and say, oh, it's a lizard trying to, if you think about it, humans, if you let your skin get real dry, you'll start to see scales. You'll start to see a lot of stuff, because a lot of times, most life came from the ocean. Okay, reptiles were amphibians, and amphibians used to be sea creatures, and they just evolved. Okay, so if you think about it, we all have our beginnings as either a sea creature that turned into an amphibian, that turned into a reptile, okay, and into a mammal. Okay, we know the theory of evolution. It's probably more true than the creation story. Okay, and of course, there was a time where where the human was interfered with, and possibly interdimensional beings, aliens, or whatever you want to call it, did something to speed up human evolution, or they made it with us. And that's the story that's even in the Bible, how the people came out the sky and made it with the humans. They call them angels, Anunnaki, or whatever, and then created new humans. Okay, a lot of people say that we are the hybrids of the original human, and I feel like that's probably true. Okay, and maybe some of these beings that made it with us, maybe they were half reptile, maybe they were this, maybe they were that. That's why when we get our symbolisms from, we have the caduceus, where it has the snakes going up the rod, and then the wings. There's the winged serpent. There's all these serpent symbols, but it doesn't mean evil. It means knowledge, because what did they say? The beings from the sky brought knowledge. Okay, and even in the Bible it says the serpent. It didn't say a snake. It said the serpent. The serpent is a reptile. The serpent gave Eve, here, take this knowledge, and she left. A lot of people think that they had sex and she cheated on Adam, and I don't know. And one of the children was, I don't know. We'll figure it out later, but I don't even believe that story. But if it were true, I think the serpent was one of those beings. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a snake that talked. It was a serpent, and a serpent is a reptile, and a reptile is someone who is very goal oriented and getting done what they need to get done. And they knew, let's just say, if Eve did not get this knowledge, she was going to stay dumb and stupid forever, in the Garden of Eden, running around naked eating fruits. Okay, and then the serpent's like, you know what, you are capable of great things, so you need to come on over here and take a bite of this apple, or whatever fruit it was, and you need to know what I know. Okay, let me teach you. And Adam was running around like, so I'm saying, if this story was true, this is how it would work out. Adam's running around like doing whatever she says, because he had never had a woman before, so he's like, okay, whatever you say, give it to me, I'll take it too. So she was so then, after the serpent wisdom was given unto man, then men started thriving. Okay, they didn't need to be taken care of anymore. They could then create for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So the Serpent Wisdom is actually a name of a book that I do recommend. The Serpent Wisdom will teach you how to use your energy, your manifesting, your power, your magic to achieve great things. And as individuals, we all have our individual morals, so we can create the type of goals and agendas for ourselves and use our reptile mind to accomplish those things. Doesn't mean we have to be evil. It just means that we need to put ourselves first and think about ourselves first and get done what we need to get done first, because if you can't help yourself, you can't help anyone else. You know what I'm saying? If you're poor, you can't help the poor. Do you understand? So a lot of times these celebrities will, do all these things that get really famous and big, and then they'll come back and start helping. You can't help people if you have nothing. Okay, so you're gonna have to embrace that side of yourself if you want to accomplish things in the material world. And a lot of Christians will say, oh, that's the devil, and da da da. Well, whatever. If it's the devil, then blah, whatever. Then never embrace it and never get the things that you need to get in your life. Remember, your riches are in heaven if you're a Christian, so don't even worry about it. But yes, the reptile is a metaphor for an agenda to get things done by any means necessary. Now, if the reptile mind is in a person who's greedy and will kill and do all those bad things to get their agenda done, then that's what it's going to do. But if it's the reptile mind is another person who just wants to feed their family and accomplish their goals and dreams, it's the same energy that's working. It's just the person who determines if this reptile energy or reptile mindset is working for the greater good of themselves or the greater good of the people, or, you know, whatever. But I do know one thing. If you don't do what it takes to get to where you need to go, you'll never get there. So we need a balance. Do you know what I'm saying? We need a balance. If you are evil and you'll kill people to accomplish your goal and lives don't matter to you, then you probably could be what they call a psychopath reptilian. Okay? Now everyone has their mental issues, but the people that run the world, the people who are the richest, the people who are considered what they call the reptiles of the planet, are simply exercising their reptilian mindset, but with evil plans. Okay? And to them, they don't see human life as life. They see us as recyclables. You know what I'm saying? They know that the soul never dies. They know that spirit lives on forever. They know you'll be recycled if you believe, if you believe in reincarnation. They know that your souls will come back and you'll just be reborn again, and your life is, the world will still go on without you. You know what I'm saying? And they don't see you as valuable assets. They see you as recyclables. I keep saying recyclables, okay? I'm just telling you how they see you. They don't see you as a mother to 3 children. They don't see you as a father. They don't see you as this. They see you as recyclables, okay? You'll be back. If you die, the world is not going to collapse. Sorry. It's just not. It's like ants. So that's how they look at us. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to us to create the life that we desire by any means necessary. You know what I mean? And in order for us to do that, we do have to tap into that reptilian mind. We don't have to go to that extreme because, once you become that powerful, that rich, it only leads to corruption. You can't get any better. You own everything. You have all the money in the world. Where else is there to go? Right? So perhaps they're starting projects on other planets or the moon or whatever. But whatever. Down here, people are still trying to make it to a certain level, and they've already made it to that level. So human life is now just like ants. It's a game to them. Who can do this? Who can do that? So when you think about reptiles, don't think about the people who are not representing, human race in the best or humankind in the best light. Think about how you can use it for your advantage. You know what I'm saying? Don't think about how other people have used it and done wrong things, because after a while, people who have too much, they get bored, they don't know what else to do. You can't buy anything else because you own everything. So then what? You start trying to do some crazy stuff. You try to, you play chess with real soldiers and tanks, and, you steal and you kill real people. You know what I'm saying? So even though that's very extreme and we know that's happening, we also know that we have the ability to control our own destiny with using that same mindset. Okay? So y'all just remember that, and don't buy into those funny videos with like the eyes shifting and stuff like that, because that can be done with technology. Okay? But there are cases that eyes do change permanently while the person is possessed, and things like that. So I'm not going to dismiss the eye thing. I'm just saying 90% of what you're seeing, 99% of what you're seeing is fake. I don't know if, I don't remember the name of the video, but there is this guy and he was being possessed by a jinn. He did the becoming possessed with the jinn ritual. I don't know. You can look it up on YouTube. It's with the mirror. It's done with the mirror. So if you see that video, someone tell me and I'll link it. I don't know what the name of it is. But yes, we can call upon spirits and energies and entities to kind of, if we don't have that reptilian mind, we can call on energies that do. You know, we can call on energies. And if you think about it, in voodoo, their main god is a snake, is a serpent, and named Zombie. You know what I'm saying? In ancient Egypt, there's lots of serpent energy there. You'll see serpents everywhere, on the headdress, on, the walls and the carvings and things like that. You'll see serpents in China, flying serpents, dragons. You'll see serpents in Mexico and South America and Central America on their deities. Do you know? You'll see it in Native American culture. And you'll see it in lots of African culture, of course. So, and also in India, they're very, very close to snakes and serpents and charming the serpent. So, what are we missing? Okay, why is the serpent now our enemy when it used to be what we embraced? So you need to think about that and totally change your way of thinking if you really want to, prosper and get knowledge in the world. The first thing someone would do that didn't want you to have prosperity or knowledge was to tell you that something was evil and to stay away from it, right? They would make you fear it like nothing else, because they don't want you to have that power. Now, when that fear is gone and you embrace that power and you use the power and you start seeing life changes and, you're no longer dependent or controlled by certain things, you're free. Okay? So we have to understand to stop being scared of everything, to stop being so superstitious about everything, and stop taking things the wrong way and do our own research. Okay? That's why a lot of people never, get far in magic or in the occult, because their fear and their lack of knowledge and their what their parents taught them, or what the Bible says, or what people fear or say on YouTube and Photoshop stuff, it keeps them away from things when you're supposed to be running to it. Okay? So if you want to get that energy, that knowledge, that power, that serpent wisdom, you need to embrace it. Okay? I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.